pay him $20 million, so we'll see if they can find a trade partner. But that's something to look out for. The other one that everybody wants to know about is Kirk Cousins, still on the Falcons. Even though Michael Penix Jr. is set to be their starter, if the Falcons had traded Cousins earlier this offseason, it would have been a $37.5 million dead money cap hit. Now, if they do it, it's $12.5 with the rest hitting next year's cap. But the issue with Cousins is not cap, it's cash. He's making $27.5 million in guaranteed salary this year, and he's got another $10 million guaranteed for next year. So whoever acquires him is going to have to take that on or get the Falcons to pick up some of it. And right now, the Falcons haven't been willing to pick up enough of that money to get a deal done.
If only there was a team in need of a quarterback. Oh, hey, next Tuesday, June 10th, the Steelers start mandatory minicamps. And we still have no word on Aaron Rodgers, Dan. So at what point is Pittsburgh just going to start looking elsewhere?
I think we have a couple more months of this unless Aaron Rodgers makes a decision soon. Pittsburgh, they look at next week's minicamp. If Rodgers is not there, as a chance for Mason Rudolph and Will Howard to show what they can do, get some extra reps. If Rodgers is not there by the time they go to training camp in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, late July, then I think that's when the Steelers start to look at other options. They have said, their GM Omar Khan has said, they always go to training camp with 4 quarterbacks. Right now they have 3. So there's a spot for Rodgers. If he doesn't want it, then I would imagine they would get it to somebody else by the time they head to Latrobe in late July. But as of now, Randy, we are just waiting on Aaron Rodgers.
We're pretty good at that by now. Yeah. Steelers opening their season at the Jets on September 7th. Makes one think. Dan Graziano, thank you, sir.
Podcast for everybody else. I'm sorry, man. It doesn't set the right tone in terms of what the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to get accomplished with this revamped roster in hopes of trying to make some noise once they get to the playoffs.
It still blows my mind that we're here with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin, of all organizations and of all people. But I thought about this time last year, and what was the big offseason story about Aaron Rodgers? Egypt, right? Remember Egypt? He didn't want to go to mandatory minicamp because he wanted to go to Egypt, and then it caused this big problem because the team didn't have his back. The team said it was mandatory, and it caused an issue. Is he just wanting to do his own thing, and he doesn't want to be attached to a team so he doesn't have any sort of a bad headline when he misses mandatory football things?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
But then why is that appetizing to the Pittsburgh Steelers? That's where I can't reconcile any of this. It makes a lot of sense from Aaron Rodgers' vantage point. I dealt with this. I don't want it to be a bad headline. If I'm eventually going to sign there, this works out in my favor. It's beneficial to me because I'm not going to be the bad guy when I don't show up to things I don't want to show up to. But if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, why are you letting a guy who's entering his age 42 season, who you don't even know is going to be that good, when he's never been in your building, get these allowances? That's where I can't wrap my head around it.
Because to play out your point, he's not getting any allowances. He's not on the team. And I think your point is dead on.
But for them, why are you gonna want to be in limbo with a guy who's telling you he doesn't want to be there for things that are important to the team?
You're right about that, but you're also right about your first part, right? So why would they have the allowances? They don't. Technically, by letter of the law, they're not allowing him or not allowing him to do anything. He's not their employee. The moment he signs to be their employee is when, if he misses something, the Egypt headline pops back up again. So in some ways, do you actually give Aaron Rodgers credit for what's gone on here? Because he's in it for his personal happiness, and he's found an organization that will allow him to not have to sign a contract until a certain date, and thus he's technically missed nothing by letter of the law. Now, 11-year veteran Super Bowl champion, rightfully so, will probably tell us, no, he's missed a lot of things. And I'm going to guess, and I literally had this in my notes, and I wanted to ask you this. How much are quarterbacks around in the offseason? Or just like around the facility, around the guys? Like, how much is that happening?
They're around all the time.
So that's what he's actually
Not just
missing.
the start of the strength and conditioning program. Those dudes are there all the time. When I say all the time, I'm talking about March. I mean, we had a lot of demarcation when I played. Like, if you didn't go on a deep playoff run, you were back in the building working out by Valentine's Day. You know who was back working out before that? Eli Manning. He made it his home where he played in New York City. Like, he lived in New Jersey full time. So he was always there working out, finding ways to get better. Again, it's a leadership position by nature. You're closer to ownership than you are the other 52 guys in the locker room. to put it in corporate America terms, quarterback is senior management. That's what you are. I don't know. I mean, in order to be an effective manager, you kind of got to be in the office. You just have to be. So this business about Aaron Rodgers not being around or not being under contract, so technically he's not skipping anything, is just ridiculous if his intention is to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I say it that way because I'm starting to wonder now, is he allowing this thing to drag out to keep open the slimmest of possibilities that there could be a better situation elsewhere around the NFL?
Is there one you've thought of?
I mean, Minnesota is the one we all keep coming back to, the relationship that he has with Kevin O'Connell. Obviously, when you see what that roster looks like in comparison to the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's in much better shape in there and much further along, right? The divisions are awash in terms of overall competitiveness. So if you're Aaron Rodgers, staying true to form and following the Brett Favre career path, it makes some sense. But I guess I say all that to say this. I don't know where the opportunity will come up, but there will be another opportunity. And there's the slimmest of chances that it could be a better one in terms of positioning Rodgers to get back to the postseason, potentially go on a deep playoff run. Is he holding out until the last possible moment to see if that opportunity comes about? And is he willing to sacrifice what the Pittsburgh Steelers are offering him to see what's behind door number 2? As this thing continues to drag out, I'm starting to move more and more toward that position, that he's willing to wait and see what's behind door number 2. He's willing to chase the 2 birds in the bush rather than to go with the one that's in hand.
So does he really want to play, or does he only want to play for the most ideal set of circumstances?
Yes.
Again, if you're the Steelers, why would you be open to this?
Yeah, the more you're speaking, Smalls, and you're making interesting points on this, the more I actually hear you, my taking in about everything you're saying. You're on Aaron Rodgers' side on this without supporting Aaron Rodgers. What I mean by that is, how can we blame him for doing whatever the hell he wants to do when he already has a Hall of Fame career and a Super Bowl ring and millions of dollars in the bank?
Oh, he doesn't owe the Steelers anything.
Yeah, he doesn't. Now, I would think, me personally, even if I have no relationship with Mike Tomlin, I still owe Mike Tomlin something. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe he doesn't think that way. I would think we're kind of peers-ish. We're kind of roughly same age bracket. We kind of grew up together in this sport, same time. I kind of owe it to him to say, don't wait for me.
Why?
Yeah, why? If he's allowing you.
Feel like he owed anything to Mike McCarthy, and he won a ring with that guy.
I said I would feel that way.
Well, you would feel differently about Mike McCarthy if you were Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
The fact that he doesn't feel differently about Mike McCarthy would lead me to believe that he doesn't feel like he owes Mike Tomlin anything.
You're right. I just don't understand. I don't know who the example would be in our world, in the media world. Somebody that I would not know, that I would feel like, hey, I can't screw that person over. Even though I don't know that person, I feel like because of how
because of what that person means to the game. Because of what that.
I don't know why this person's coming up in my head. Robin Roberts, icon. If she was interested in working with me, I have no relationship with her. I can't. It's Robin Roberts. You can't drag that along.
Well, what if Robin Roberts let you drag it along?
Well, then you would think differently about Robin Roberts. And then you would say, I'm not sure that she's the icon that she is. And she is, of course, obviously. I don't know why she came to mind out of all people, but I don't know her.
Because she's had an unbelievable career. She commands respect.
Yeah.
She's an icon.
And that's
Mike
the way I look
Tomlin
at
does
Tomlin.
all those things.
Yeah.
Which is why I cannot believe that he, of all people, would allow. This is foolishness. It's crazy town to me.
I feel like we're going to wake up one day between now and the end of Steelers minicamp next week, and the Steelers are going to announce a trade for Kirk Cousins. I feel like that's how this ends. I don't think this ends with Aaron Rodgers signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because if that were going to happen, it would have taken place by now. This needs to be ultimatum week for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they don't have to be loud about it. But I think that there needs to be a clear pivot if Aaron Rodgers is not under contract by week's end, period.
What do you think the players on the team want? You got TJ Watt.
They just want
Cam
clarity
Hayward.
about who their quarterback is going to be.
So they don't care, as long as it's one of those two.
Well, yeah, because it raises the floor for what they would anticipate with quarterback play based on the current quarterback room they have with Mason Rudolph and Kyle Allen and Will Howard. It raises that bar. So, yeah, I think they'll be fine with Kirk Cousins. I think they would prefer Aaron Rodgers, but Either way, we want to know who our quarterback is going into minicamp. The fact that you don't is ridiculous.
Coming up, did Aaron Rodgers' ex-team, one of them, regress at the quarterback position? But first, the Pittsburgh Steelers may be an example of what's going on.
Mũi tiếp. Mũi nào cũng như vậy này. Tiếp tục mắc. Rồi, lần vào chân này. Mũi tiếp theo. Lên ngược cho nó nhé. Mũi nữa xuống. Mình sẽ đưa một cái chuỗi len như thế này nhé, rất là đẹp nha. Giờ sẽ gỡ thêm chút len nữa ra nhé mọi người. Gỡ thêm một chút nữa nha. Rồi bây giờ sẽ móc này. Mình móc tăng cái độ rộng của cái vòng lên nhé. Mình cần cái độ rộng gấp đôi thôi. Rồi móc 4 mũi đúng rồi. Đây, móc xuống đây. Móc thêm nhiều mũi nữa nhé. Móc lần lượt xuống. Đấy, sẽ được cái độ rộng gấp đôi lên như thế này. Mình móc tiếp, móc hết cái chuỗi này. Rồi, mũi tiếp theo làm lần đầu cho mình nhé. Tiếp theo mọi người.